Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick, and I'm going to be talking about a couple things while I'm doing this run. This is the Shamrock Shuffle 2023, and it's a 8K, which is about a 5-mile run, but I wanted to give you some pointers on how to get healthy. And I'm training a group of people to hopefully summit Mount Whitney by end of summer. But I think there's ways to engage exercise, nutrition, sleep, and medical problems, or fixing medical problems. We'll go to talk about this in stages. I'm essentially going to talk about the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F. A is to acknowledge your medical problems. So if you have issues with high blood pressure, bad knees, bad back, cholesterol, diabetes, you should declare them first and then maximize potential to control that stuff. So get a checkup. If you don't have insurance, check your blood pressure, check your pulse, maybe get a watch like this so you can keep an eye on your sleep habit, pulse rate, and breath. So there's ways to exercise that'll get you to survive the run or survive the hike and not get injured. I'll talk about it on the course. It's starting to hail. I'm at the halfway mark, 2.5 miles of 5 miles, and thought I'd talk about the next part. B is to breathe easy. Normally everybody can get real fast out of the gates, like here. Sometimes if you only have a fight or flight that's developed in you, stress response, it's cool because you can fight. But how many of you have really been through a fight? Now if you have stress response but it's low grade all day long, it's not good. All the systems below the neck are supposed to be based on parasympathetic, vagus nerve control, rest and digest. But that's where you can control your breath. Diaphragmatic breathing, and then breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth, no matter how fast your feet are going. This will help my guys going uphill because as we hit high altitude, there's going to be faster heart rates and faster breath. And if you're not used to that, you'll feel it can actually induce a stress response just from having fast breath and heart. So it's nice to taste that every once in a while. And like in the midst of the exercise or real fast burst activity like HIIT training or CrossFit, you should learn to slow down a little bit. And that's where I'm going to try to keep my pace, slow down, and also breath also goes with pulse. If you can slow your pulse down, in addition to controlling your breath, you're in control. So sometimes as we ascend a mountain, you want to keep your heart rate below 120. No question, when you first start out, you'll be really tachycardic. But as you get healthier and healthier and more cardiovascularly fit, your heart rate won't rise up as much. So here's a formula, 220 minus your age, and then you take about 80% of that. That's the old formula. But the cool thing about these watches is you can keep a track of your pulse, and then hopefully, I'm going to do some running. Hopefully, with watching your pulse, you can either speed up or slow down. So I'm going to try to pace myself so that I can talk, that my perceived exertion is not too bad, and my pulse shouldn't go too high. I can tolerate the pulse, but the problem is, because of what I'm wearing, if my pulse gets too high, my heart beats up fast, and then I start heating up. And heating up changes everything, especially in this kind of weather. You'll get dehydrated. It just makes it worse, especially if you're going to altitude or you have a big endurance run. So B is for breath and pulse. Hey, I'm at 3.9 miles and just about done, but we talked about A, B, C. C is cardiovascular conditioning, and that means a combination of just keeping healthy with cardio, but also considering resistance. For my guys who are going up on the mountain in Chicago, we're about, what, 0 to 700 feet of elevation above sea level. If we're trying to prepare for a 14,000 foot climb, impossible to practice around here. But there are methods, and I'll probably do another video on that, but whether it's that or whether it's you want to do a marathon, you have to be in condition. So I haven't run since 2010, and at that point I finished a marathon. I have a story behind that, but I didn't really train. I just wanted to do it. Same thing with this thing. I think I'm fit enough to just jump in and try something and not suffer the ramifications. So you have to try to do something with balancing time, trying to do some cardiovascular health, and then also resistance exercise. You need power. So all those things are important, especially as you get older. Things that take us are weakness, arthritis. You lose independence because you have to rely on somebody else after you break a hip. Try to do as much as you can with several different forms of exercise. And if you can't find your own exercise, have somebody put something together for you. And bottom line is that don't be frustrated. If you rely on things that you used to do for keeping you healthy when you were in your 20s, that's probably not going to serve you in your 50s or 60s. So it has to be articulated a little bit, modified. If you do have arthritis and you have followed my acknowledgement, the A, and then fixed your knee issue or your low back issue, your core issue, or your ankle instability, then move forward. If you have high blood pressure and it's not controlled, don't be thinking that you'll control it with exercise. You might have to bring it down a little bit so you can tolerate more exercise. Even though the blood pressure reading on the cuff might be high and you don't feel anything, your heart will probably feel something and it won't allow you to do stuff. Down there is the Shedd Aquarium. Over there is the Field Museum. Well, Lakeshore Drive is actually over there, but I thought I'd talk about my last couple. So we had A, B, C, D. D is downtime. And it's very, very important to try to squeeze out as much as you can with sleep. So I usually say exercise to sleep, which might not make sense, but if you're a subscriber to my YouTube channel, you'd understand. Sleep has stages. There's sleep latency in the beginning. There's the first part, first half of sleep, which is slow wave sleep, rebuilds neurons, gets crap out of your brain. Then the second half is REM, where I'll recover from this. REM is responsible for fixing muscle, growing muscle, introducing myosatellite cells. So it's important. Those three stages are important, but the stage before latency is the daytime. And if the daytime is full of stress, fight or flight, there's no way you're going to just lie down and go into sleep. So it's important to take a breather every once in a while, acknowledge your downtime, and honor it. If you are a person that's used to 5 to 6 hours of sleep and you just crank in caffeine, that's not really, that'll make you awake, but it's not really healthy. And you need the sleep to be healthy to rebuild. Rebuild the brain, keep it clean, turn off memory issues and dementia, and also rebuild muscle so you can keep on going and be independent. E would be eat to exercise. And I think, short of if you have an eating disorder, you shouldn't be doing this, but eat to exercise is where you are conscious and mindful about what you're eating, your building blocks, and if you pay attention to that, to pay it forward for your next workout, or your next run, or your next hike, then you're going to stay on track. If you don't care, and you're not watching your calendar, you're going to just overeat, snack, grab that bag of chips and get to the bottom. So it's important to be mindful with your eating. Last part, A, B, C, D, E, F. F is just have fun. That's where I was last year. I've always walked this. I don't like running, but this is fun. This is the goal. It's a finish line. I only did 5 miles, but all these other people here too.
Packer and David Macklin and Arnie Olson and Christopher Meshny.
I'll carry you with me through the finish line. Bottom line is to stay healthy. Hopefully you can hear me. Try to do the best you can with the resources you have. So we want to stay healthy, not get injured, but maybe enjoy it with friends, or consider doing something weird. A lot of people here aren't athletes, but we're all having fun. Everybody's smiling.
Michelle Williams,
This is so awesome.
Nikki Carter, Caitlin Sizowinski, Mark Grubieska, Megan and Elani and Norma and Sadie.
That was cool. Thanks for being on the run with me. And try to stay healthy. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a doctor, come and see me. I do virtuals from anywhere in the world. And I have an office in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Thanks.